Today, I want to talk to you about something that everyone dreams of, yet very few are willing to truly embrace success. We all want it: financial freedom, recognition, respect, and the feeling of accomplishment. But the truth is, success doesn't come easy. It requires sacrifice, and not just small sacrifices, but meaningful ones. Today, I want to break down 6 things you must be willing to sacrifice before you succeed. Time is the most precious resource we have, and yet it is also the one we waste the most. Every successful person in the world shares one common trait. They understand the value of time and are willing to invest it wisely. When you want to achieve something meaningful, you cannot rely on luck, chance, or waiting for the perfect moment. You must sacrifice time, especially the time spent on trivial things that provide temporary pleasure, but no long-term value. The truth is that success does not come from doing what is easy or comfortable. It comes from putting in the hours, the effort, and the persistence that others are unwilling to commit. Many people complain that they are too busy or that life is unfair. But if you look closely, those who achieve greatness often work while others sleep, study while others play, and focus on growth while others are distracted. Time is unique because it cannot be regained once it is lost. Every hour, every minute, and every second counts. And the way you use your time directly influences the trajectory of your life. Sacrificing time means making difficult choices. It might mean staying late at the office to master a skill, waking up early in the morning when the world is quiet, or dedicating hours to study, plan, and prepare instead of scrolling through social media or watching entertainment that does not contribute to your growth. These choices require discipline and foresight because the rewards are not always immediate. Many people give up too soon because they cannot see the result of their hard work right away. But those who succeed understand that time invested today compounds over months and years, leading to significant outcomes. Another aspect of sacrificing time is prioritizing what truly matters. Life is full of distractions, and it is easy to spend hours on things that are enjoyable in the moment, but meaningless in the bigger picture. To succeed, you must learn to say no to low-value activities and yes to opportunities that align with your goals. This may involve missing social gatherings, delaying gratification, or even stepping away from certain hobbies temporarily. It is not easy, and it often feels uncomfortable, but the discomfort is a necessary part of growth. The way you manage your time also reflects your mindset. People who waste time often do not respect themselves or their goals. They believe that success is something that happens to others, not themselves. On the other hand, those who sacrifice time develop a sense of ownership over their life and destiny. They understand that small, consistent actions performed over a long period create momentum, and momentum is what separates the average from the extraordinary. Sacrificing time is not about working mindlessly or obsessively. It is about using every moment with purpose and intention. It is about understanding that each day is an opportunity to move closer to your dreams, and that procrastination is one of the biggest enemies of achievement. Even small increments of time, when invested wisely, can have a significant impact. For example, dedicating just an hour a day to learning a new skill or improving yourself can result in mastery over the course of a year. Time is a silent force that rewards patience, diligence, and perseverance. In this sense, time is also a reflection of your commitment. When you prioritize your goals over comfort and distraction, you are demonstrating that you value your dreams more than temporary satisfaction. Sacrificing time requires courage because it often means going against the norm. Most people seek convenience and ease, but those who succeed are willing to do what others will not. They embrace routines, habits, and schedules that maximize their productivity, often making personal sacrifices along the way. The most successful entrepreneurs, athletes, and leaders will tell you that time invested in hard work, preparation, and learning is never wasted. Every moment counts, and even failures become valuable because they are part of the process that shapes experience and wisdom. Moreover, sacrificing time teaches patience and resilience. You learn that significant achievements cannot be rushed, and that the journey itself is part of the reward. While it may feel exhausting or frustrating at times, this investment builds character and strength, qualities that are indispensable on the path to success. Those who fail to respect time often find themselves stuck, watching others succeed while they remain stagnant. Time is not forgiving, and opportunities are fleeting. Every day presents a new chance to work toward your goals, but it also passes quickly, leaving no room for regret. To succeed, you must treat time as the valuable commodity it is, guarding it carefully, using it intentionally, and dedicating it to actions that have the potential to transform your life. In the end, sacrificing time is less about giving something up and more about investing in something greater. It is a conscious decision to prioritize growth, learning, and achievement over temporary comfort or distraction. This is the mindset that allows ordinary people to do extraordinary things, that transforms potential into results, and that ensures that when you look back at your life, you can see a path filled with purpose, effort, and accomplishments rather than wasted hours and missed opportunities. Those who understand the power of time understand the secret to lasting success. Fear of failure is one of the greatest obstacles that stands between ordinary people and extraordinary success. Most people never reach their potential, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they are too afraid to try, too afraid to fail. Fear is natural. It is a part of being human. When you take risks, step into the unknown, or try something ambitious, fear will appear. It whispers doubts in your ear. What if you fail? What if you are not good enough? What if people laugh at you? These questions can be paralyzing if you let them control your actions. The truth is that failure is inevitable if you are pursuing something meaningful. Every successful person has experienced failure. Many have faced repeated, even humiliating failures. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is not the absence of failure, but the courage to keep going despite it. Fear of failure must be sacrificed because it limits potential. When fear dominates your decisions, you play it safe, stay in your comfort zone, and settle for mediocrity. You may avoid embarrassment, disappointment, or short-term pain, but you also avoid growth, progress, and achievement. Sacrificing fear does not mean being reckless. It means being brave enough to take calculated risks, learn from mistakes, and continue forward even when the path is uncertain. Every failure is an opportunity to learn. Each time you fail, you gain insight, knowledge, and experience that can be applied to your next attempt. If you are unwilling to risk failure, you will never gather the lessons necessary to succeed. Fear of failure is a mindset problem, and overcoming it requires reframing failure as a natural part of the journey rather than a permanent state. In my own life, I faced countless rejections and setbacks. I was rejected from hundreds of jobs, including one by KFC, where I was the only candidate not hired. I failed many times before founding my company. Each failure felt painful, and at times, I doubted myself, but I did not allow fear to stop me. I learned to treat failure as a teacher, not as a verdict. The lessons I gained from failing helped me improve, adapt, and eventually succeed. Sacrificing fear also requires embracing uncertainty. Most people fear failure because they fear the unknown. They want guarantees, certainty, and a safe path. But life rarely offers guarantees, and the path to success is always uncertain. You must be willing to step into the unknown, take responsibility for your choices, and accept that mistakes and setbacks are part of the process. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act despite fear. Sacrificing fear of failure means refusing to let self-doubt dictate your actions. It means trusting your vision, believing in your ability to learn, and understanding that failure is temporary while giving up is permanent. People who embrace failure are also more resilient. They recover faster, adapt to challenges, and keep moving forward when obstacles arise. Those who are controlled by fear tend to quit at the first sign of difficulty, while those who have sacrificed fear see obstacles as opportunities to grow stronger. Another important aspect of sacrificing fear is the willingness to experiment. Success rarely comes from doing exactly what others have done. It comes from creativity, innovation, and bold action. Experimentation always carries the risk of failure, but without it, there is no chance to discover something new or valuable. Fear keeps people from experimenting, from taking the leaps that lead to breakthroughs. Letting go of fear also changes your perspective on criticism and judgment. Many people fear failure because they are afraid of what others will think. They worry about embarrassment, ridicule, or disapproval. Sacrificing fear allows you to focus on your own growth and vision rather than external opinions. When you stop being afraid of what others think, you gain freedom to pursue your dreams authentically. Sacrificing fear is a daily practice. It is not a one-time decision. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, face uncertainty, or try something new, you reinforce your courage and weaken fear. Over time, this mindset becomes natural, and you start seeing challenges as opportunities rather than threats. In life, there are no guarantees, and failure is part of the journey. Sacrificing fear of failure allows you to take action, learn from experience, and build the resilience needed to achieve your goals. The people who succeed are not those who avoid failure, but those who confront it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. By letting go of fear, you open the door to opportunity, growth, and achievement, and you realize that failure is not the opposite of success, but an essential part of it. Giving up instant gratification is one of the most difficult sacrifices to make on the road to success because human nature drives us to seek comfort, pleasure, and immediate rewards. From a young age, we are conditioned to want things quickly, whether it is candy, toys, approval, or entertainment. And as we grow older, this desire for instant satisfaction does not disappear. In fact, it becomes more complicated because life constantly tempts us with shortcuts, easy money, and quick recognition. The problem is that meaningful success is never immediate. It requires patience, consistent effort, and delayed rewards. If you allow yourself to always pursue what feels good in the moment, you will never develop the discipline or resilience necessary to achieve extraordinary results. When I started my journey, I did not have wealth, resources, or influence. Many of my peers spent their time seeking comfort and enjoying life's pleasures. I spent my time working, learning, and building something that would take years to bear fruit. Every hour I spent away from entertainment, social events, or temporary pleasures was an investment in my future. That is the essence of sacrificing instant gratification. Making choices today that may feel uncomfortable or unrewarding, but that will create enormous value over time. Instant gratification is a trap because it appeals to the part of the brain that wants quick results. Social media, television, fast food, and consumer culture constantly reinforce this desire. It is very easy to fall into the habit of choosing the easy, comfortable option instead of the path that leads to growth. However, those who succeed are those who are willing to prioritize long-term gains over temporary pleasure. This requires mental strength, self-control, and a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Sacrificing instant gratification also means learning to say no to distractions. Life is full of opportunities for immediate enjoyment that do not contribute to your larger goals. Every time you resist these distractions, You reinforce your ability to focus and your capacity to work toward your ambitions. It may feel lonely or restrictive at first, but the payoff is tremendous. For example, when I was building my company, I often worked nights, skipped vacations, and said no to social events. It was not always easy, but I knew that the temporary discomfort would eventually result in long-term achievement. In this sense, sacrificing instant gratification is an investment in yourself. Every choice you make to prioritize growth, learning, and discipline over pleasure compounds over time. The small sacrifices add up, and the cumulative effect is remarkable. Another important dimension of giving up instant gratification is patience. Many people give up on their dreams too soon because they expect immediate results. They want recognition, money, or success today. And when it does not come, they become frustrated and quit. Those who sacrifice instant gratification understand that success takes time. They embrace the journey, work diligently, and trust that their efforts will eventually pay off. Discipline is central to this sacrifice. You must be willing to control impulses, manage your desires, and commit to long-term objectives, even when the rewards are not visible. This discipline becomes a habit, a mindset that allows you to navigate challenges, overcome setbacks, and continue working toward your goals even when the path is difficult. Sacrificing instant gratification also enhances your decision-making. When you prioritize long-term benefits over short-term pleasures, you learn to evaluate choices critically, weigh consequences, and make strategic decisions. This mindset separates successful people from those who are constantly reacting to immediate desires. Furthermore, the ability to delay gratification builds resilience. Life will always present temptations and opportunities to take the easy path. The more you practice self-control and patience, the stronger your character becomes. You start to value effort, persistence, and hard work because you understand that these are the true drivers of achievement. People who fail to sacrifice instant gratification often live lives of unfulfilled potential. They may enjoy temporary pleasure, but they never experience the satisfaction of accomplishing something truly meaningful. They remain trapped in cycles of distraction, indulgence, and stagnation. On the other hand, those who give up instant gratification gain freedom. They are free from the control of fleeting desires and external influences. They are free to focus on their vision, take consistent action, and build the life they want. Every time you resist the urge to give in to temporary pleasure, you are strengthening your ability to succeed. Sacrificing instant gratification is not about denying yourself joy. It is about understanding that true joy comes from achievement, growth, and fulfillment. When you invest your time, energy, and attention into something meaningful, the rewards are far greater than any momentary pleasure could provide. In this way, giving up instant gratification is both a practical and a philosophical choice. It trains the mind, shapes habits, and ultimately prepares you for the challenges and rewards of success. Those who master this sacrifice learn patience, discipline, focus, and resilience, all of which are essential for achieving extraordinary results in life. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your success, and one of the most important sacrifices you can make is letting go of negative relationships. From the beginning of my journey, I realized that the wrong company can slow you down, drain your energy, and cloud your judgment. Not everyone will support your dreams, and some may even try to hold you back intentionally or unintentionally. To succeed, you must carefully choose the people you spend time with because their attitudes, habits, and beliefs influence your own. When I started my business, many friends and acquaintances laughed at the idea, saying it would never work. Some questioned my abilities, and others discourage me from taking risks. At first, it was difficult because these were people I trusted, people I had known for years. But I had to make a choice: either let their negativity control my path, or sacrifice their influence and surround myself with those who believed in growth and possibility. Choosing the right people means finding those who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to become better. These are the friends, mentors, and colleagues who hold you accountable, celebrate your progress, and provide constructive feedback when needed. Positive influences energize you and help you see opportunities where others see obstacles. In contrast, negative people instill doubt, encourage procrastination, and create unnecessary drama. Sacrificing negative relationships is not always easy because it may involve distancing yourself from long-term acquaintances, family members, or coworkers. Sometimes the people who doubt you do so out of fear, jealousy, or habit. They may not intend harm, but their presence can prevent you from moving forward. You must recognize that protecting your mindset is essential to achieving your goals. Surrounding yourself with negativity is like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy weight. It slows your progress, saps your energy, and makes every challenge more difficult than it needs to be. On the other hand, positive relationships act as fuel. When you are around people who believe in your vision, they motivate you to work harder, think creatively, and persist through challenges. They celebrate your successes and help you learn from failures. In my own journey, I sought mentors and peers who had achieved what I aspired to. I observed their habits, learned from their experiences, and allowed their energy to shape my actions. This did not mean blindly copying them, but rather absorbing their mindset and approach while remaining true to my values. Sacrificing negative influences also teaches you emotional discipline. You learn not to react to criticism or pessimism in a way that undermines your confidence. Instead, you focus on constructive feedback. Seek guidance from those who have experience and ignore distractions that do not contribute to your growth. It is important to understand that this sacrifice is an investment in your future. Cutting off negativity may feel uncomfortable, even lonely at first, because people are accustomed to being around you. But over time, this space allows you to grow focus and pursue your goals with clarity. In addition, it helps you identify the type of people you want to attract into your life. Once you commit to positivity, discipline, and ambition, you naturally draw like-minded individuals who reinforce your mindset and amplify your efforts. The sacrifice of letting go of negative influences is also about protecting your mental and emotional energy. Every person you interact with leaves an imprint on your thoughts, attitudes, and emotions. If you constantly engage with those who are doubtful, cynical, or pessimistic, it is difficult to maintain the optimism, motivation, and creativity required to succeed. By choosing supportive and inspiring relationships, you create an environment where your ideas can flourish, your confidence grows, and your actions are reinforced. Another important aspect is accountability. Positive relationships help you stay disciplined because people around you hold you responsible for your promises, goals, and commitments. They challenge you to do better, encourage you when you struggle, and celebrate your achievements genuinely. Negative relationships often do the opposite. They excuse poor behavior, reinforce laziness, and normalize mediocrity. Sacrificing these relationships requires courage and clarity. You must recognize that the journey to success is personal, and not everyone is meant to accompany you on the path. It is not about selfishness or arrogance. It is about creating the conditions that allow you to thrive. Ultimately, surrounding yourself with the right people multiplies your chances of success. Their energy becomes your energy, their mindset becomes your mindset, and their encouragement propels you forward. Letting go of negativity is not a one-time act. It is a continuous practice of evaluating the people around you and ensuring that your environment supports your vision. Those who succeed understand that achievement is not just about skills, effort, or knowledge. It is also about the quality of the relationships that shape your decisions, attitudes, and actions. Choosing wisely, sacrificing negative influences, and cultivating positivity ensures that your journey is not hindered by doubt, fear, or limitation, but fueled by inspiration, guidance, and possibility. Excuses are one of the most dangerous obstacles to success, yet they are so common that many people don't even realize how much they hold themselves back. From the earliest stages of life, we are conditioned to explain why things cannot be done, why circumstances are unfair, or why the results we want seem impossible. Excuses are comfortable because they shift responsibility away from ourselves. They protect us from failure, criticism, and disappointment, but they also prevent growth, progress, and achievement. The truth is that no one ever succeeded by making excuses. Every successful person has faced challenges, scarcity, and obstacles, but what separates them from those who fail is that they take responsibility for their actions, decisions, and results. Sacrificing excuses is about recognizing that your life is the result of your choices, not your circumstances. When you stop blaming external factors, you gain power. You understand that you have control over your actions, your learning, and your persistence. This mindset is transformative because it shifts you from a position of passivity to one of action. Excuses often sound reasonable. People say, "I don't have time, I'm too young, I'm too old, I don't have the money," or "the conditions are not right." On the surface, these reasons seem legitimate, but in reality, they are barriers that prevent you from acting. Success requires looking beyond limitations and finding solutions. When I started Alibaba, I had almost nothing, no money, no experience, no network. People around me told me it was impossible. I could have listened to all the excuses and given up, but I chose to focus on what I could do instead of what I could not. Excuses are also a form of self-deception. When you make an excuse, you convince yourself that you are justified in not taking action. This may feel comforting in the short term, but it erodes confidence, momentum, and opportunity. Sacrificing excuses means confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself, your habits, and your decisions. It requires honesty, humility, and courage. It means admitting that sometimes the only thing standing between you and your goals is yourself. Taking responsibility instead of making excuses creates freedom. When you acknowledge that your actions determine your outcomes, you stop waiting for external validation, favorable conditions, or perfect timing. You take initiative, you act, and you persist even when challenges arise. Every excuse you let go of is a step toward empowerment. Sacrificing excuses also changes how you view problems. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to stop, you see them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and grow. You develop creativity, resourcefulness, and resilience because you are no longer dependent on ideal circumstances. People who succeed are solution-oriented, not excuse-oriented. Excuses also affect the people around you. When you constantly justify inaction, you influence your team, peers, or family to accept mediocrity as normal. By giving up excuses, you model responsibility, discipline, and determination, inspiring others to do the same. Another important aspect is persistence. Excuses often appear when the effort required is high or the results are delayed. It is tempting to rationalize why you cannot continue, but true success demands consistent action. Sacrificing excuses strengthens your willpower because you learn to keep going regardless of discomfort, uncertainty, or temporary setbacks. Excuses also prevent reflection and learning. When you blame external factors for failure, you miss the opportunity to understand what you could have done differently, to improve, and to grow. Sacrificing excuses forces you to evaluate your own decisions, actions, and strategies. And this self-awareness is a key ingredient in achieving success. It is important to understand that sacrificing excuses is not about perfection. You will make mistakes, encounter failures, and face unexpected difficulties. The difference is that you do not let these moments justify inaction or quitting. You analyze, learn, and continue forward. Excuses create a false sense of security. They allow you to justify staying in your comfort zone, to avoid risk, and to avoid accountability. But comfort and avoidance never lead to greatness. Sacrificing excuses is a commitment to action, growth, and responsibility. It means understanding that every step forward is earned through effort, persistence, and decision-making rather than through favorable circumstances or luck. In life, the people who achieve their dreams are rarely those who had perfect conditions or limitless resources. They are those who refused to make excuses, who took responsibility for their failures and successes, and who acted despite challenges. By letting go of excuses, you reclaim control over your life. You focus on what you can do, not what you cannot. You turn obstacles into opportunities and challenges into lessons. This mindset separates ordinary people from extraordinary achievers, and it is one of the most critical sacrifices anyone can make on the journey to success. Those who master the art of taking responsibility, acting decisively, and refusing excuses develop the discipline, resilience, and vision necessary to achieve their highest potential.